Hey everyone, Natasha here from Bright Sprout Consulting. Happy International Women's Day! I hope all of you queens out there are having a fabulous day and being celebrated for the wonderful women that you are. As mentioned in last week's video, this week, because it's International Women's Day, I thought I would highlight a few of the South African women that I believe have made an impact to our country in some way. I was initially only going to highlight one individual, but there are so many phenomenal South African women out there that it was difficult for me to choose. So I've narrowed my list down to 3 great women, and this week I'm going to be sharing just a bit of their stories with you. Stay tuned. Join me for the series. I'm thinking of doing more such videos in the future where I highlight individuals who I find inspirational. If there are people that you think are inspirational to you that I should know more about, then pop it in the comment section below. For those who are new to my channel, I also post my top tips for making sense of the murky world of work. And I sometimes give updates in terms of what's going on in my life, if you're keen to hear about that. And recently I started a new playlist called Opinionated Opinions, where I share my very deep-rooted and serious opinions with everybody. So go check out those videos as well. So, who have I chosen to highlight and spotlight this week? The very first person that I wanted to chat about is someone by the name of Mandisa Mfeka. Have you heard of her? Well, she's the very first African black female to fly a combat jet. She's a fighter pilot. Let that sink in. She's the very first one in the world. Crazy. Okay, so how did she get there, you ask? Mandisa was born in a little town called I'm gonna get it. Ntuzama in KwaZulu-Natal. I don't know where that is. It's somewhere here. She credits her mom and her grandmother for instilling in her and planting the seed for the love of aviation. When she was just 5 years old, her mom and her grandmother used to take her to Virginia Airport and go and watch the air shows. They couldn't afford to go in, but they sat in the parking area and just watched all the planes flying around. Although she loved the idea of flying, the fact that she could become a fighter pilot later in her life as a career seemed far-fetched to her. And she saw herself in maybe more traditional female kind of careers, like a doctor, which at the time was also a stretch purely because her family could not afford to put her through university. When she was in grade 10, at about the age of 16, when most South African kids have to decide what they want to do with the rest of their lives. Crazy, right? She started investigating which options and which careers would be available to her using her 2 favorite subjects, mathematics and science. That's when she came across a career called aeronautical engineering. At the time, she thought that this was maybe one of the only ways she could get closer to what she loved, planes, flying. So she made it her mission to apply to universities to study just that. But before she got an opportunity to apply, she saw an advert for the South African Air Force in the newspaper. They were looking for pilots, and when she looked at the requirements, she met every single one of them. So that's what she decided she was going to do. She was going to become a pilot. Many of her teachers tried to dissuade her from applying to become a pilot because, you know, it's not really a traditional field that women would go into. They tried to encourage her to go into a more traditional kind of career because the Air Force was a tough one. It's male dominated, physically challenging, and not really suited for women, or so they thought. But she would not be deterred. That night, she slept with the advert under her pillow because she knew that was the career for her. Mandisa officially joined the Air Force in 2008 after she had graduated from high school. Once she completed her basic military training, she found herself at the Central Flying School in Langebaan, just outside of Cape Town, in 2010. And then in 2011, she won her wings. I wasn't there, but I can only assume that military training was really difficult. In fact, when I think about Mandisa, I basically see the South African version of G.I. Jane. Don't you? Not only was the training physically taxing, but I'm sure she faced the scorn of her male counterparts who didn't necessarily believe that she could succeed in this career. Despite that, she overcame it. And now she is credited as the very first female African black combat pilot. How crazy! So what's inspired me about Mandisa's story, you ask? Well, everything really. She's someone who found the thing that she loves, and if you watch any video of her where she talks about flying, you can see that absolute sparkle in her eye. Despite so many people not believing that she could actually achieve her objective of becoming a fighter pilot, she believed in herself. She pushed herself to do what many considered impossible. And look, she did it. She now leads a team of people. She's a major. She epitomizes self-motivation and perseverance like very few people I've seen before. And for that, I can only salute her. I would salute, but I feel like I look quite dumb, okay? I salute you, Mandisa, and I celebrate your achievements on this International Women's Day. Because of Mandisa, so many other little girls are now growing up believing that the sky's the limit, that they too can get in a plane and fly, protect our country. Very cool. We've come to the end of our video today. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed learning more about Mandisa Mfeka. Join me tomorrow, where I shine a spotlight on another phenomenal South African woman that deserves to be celebrated. Bye.